Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, February 16, 2020. Happy New Year to those of you who I have not mentioned that to. Just want to do a quick PSA prior to today's training. This is Charles with the Exodus Logistics Learning Center, which encompasses the up-and-coming Trucking 101 training for beginners, Dispatcher 101 training for beginners, and Freight Broker 101 training for beginners. This particular PSA is for the Dispatcher 101 training for beginners, the upcoming training this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the live online training. The purpose of this PSA, this public service announcement, is to mention the fact that the Facebook group Dispatcher 101 has 661 members. Some members are enrolled into the Dispatcher 101 training for beginners. Others are not. We also have a chat group that we discuss dispatcher questions and things that relates to dispatching for our carriers with whom we have a dispatcher agreement with. For those of you who just joined the Dispatcher Facebook group, but is not enrolled in the ongoing training platform, you can tune into the training today. We also have trainings on Wednesday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those are live online trainings where we go over our low board trainings, the carriers, how to get carriers, how to navigate low boards, how to book the loads, and how to get paid and invoice the carrier once the carrier delivers that load to the receiver. So if you joined the Facebook group but are not a part of the Facebook chat group, or you have not enrolled into the Dispatcher 101 training for beginners ongoing platform, or you haven't subscribed to the Dispatcher 101 training for beginners YouTube channel, consider doing that. If you have questions, like if you're just starting off wanting to be an independent freight dispatcher, if you have beginner level questions, because this training is for beginners, it establishes a foundation. It takes you step by step through the process of how to get carriers, the certain methods for that. And in the live trainings, the screen is usually shared, but you won't have access to the information unless you are an enrolled subscription-based member, but you can at least see the screen and kind of follow along of what the training is all about. But if you have questions about dispatching and you want to enroll in a dispatching course to get formal training, consider Exodus Logistics Dispatcher 101 training for beginners. I'm mainly talking to the 661 members here that I'm noticing that's in the Facebook group who may have a need to get some formal training to start their own home-based dispatcher business. So there's a reason that you joined this group. Maybe you just joined to have some preliminary questions answered. You already know what you're doing in the sense of being an at-home business. Maybe you have a need to have some more information as you build your business, or maybe you know very little, if anything, about being a freight dispatcher or the transportation industry to begin with. So if you enroll into the Dispatcher 101 training for beginners, you will have access to all of this content here, as well as the ebooks, the glossary, the load boards, the access to the load boards. We have about 5 load boards, some of the better paying load boards, the high-end freight loads. We train on how to navigate. We train on basic terminology, so when you're talking to carriers, you will be able to communicate with them effectively. They will be able to recognize that you know what you're talking about based off of the terminology that you're saying to them. You will speak with brokers. When you find loads for your carriers, you will call brokers and talk to brokers about how to book the load effectively effectively for your carriers, because you will be trained on that. You will understand how to invoice. You will understand how to acquire carriers, to convince them to get under a dispatcher agreement and profile. You will understand the other documents that's needed to effectively book those loads. All of this is encompassed in the trainings, and these trainings are ongoing. The one-time enrollment fee is $3.99, plus the 1 month later there is a $39.99 subscription for ongoing access. You can stay in the training for as long as you like. It is not a 1 month, 10-day, 1 week, 1 year training. It is ongoing as long as you maintain your monthly subscription. You maintain access to all the tools and resources in our back office, as those tools and resources will constantly change, evolve, get better. Things that are not being as effective in the back office will be removed, especially if they become outdated. We like to keep a dynamic back office going and nothing that's outdated. So as we come across things that we feel that are not effective to us as independent freight dispatchers, we will remove, and we will put in its place things that are effective as independent freight dispatchers. So again, if you are on or are a member of the Dispatcher 101 Facebook group, but you haven't enrolled, or you haven't even tuned in to one of our live online Dispatcher 101 trainings, I encourage you, or I suggest that you try to tune into one today. There's one live today at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then there's one also Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How do you get to those? Simply go to the website, www.exodusdispatchingandtraining.com. You'll come to the home page here. You click on the Dispatcher 101 link, or hover your mouse over it, and then there's a sub-link under there called Live Online Dispatch Training. Once you get there, then you scroll down here, and if you're going to call in on your phone, this is the dial-in number here, 605-472-5260, and the access code it asks you for if you're going to tune in on your phone. International, you tune in with this link, and then the regular U.S. links. If you're going to tune in on your computer or tablet or laptop, then you just click this link, provide the online ID is that, and then you go from there. And if any questions, you can contact support, 24-hour customer care support. So telephone, international computers, and domestic or U.S. computers with the online ID. So again, I could thank the 661 members who have joined the Facebook private group. Consider, if you are interested in being a part of the transportation industry as an independent work-from-home freight dispatcher, booking loads for your carriers, for your dry-van carriers, flatbed carriers, reefer carriers, consider tuning into the live training to get a more detailed, basic level, especially if you know very little, if anything, about the transportation industry. The basics training can be a good foundational tool for you to transition into something more consistent and more advanced later on. So again, I'd like to thank you and look forward to seeing those who are listening in on this PSA announcement today to tune in to the trainings at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Today is Sunday, the 16th of February. Thank you.